If you visited Universal Orlando in the past week, you might be a little confused on what is going on behind the scenes. You're seeing these giant structures, these metal structures coming to the streets before your very eyes. But us HHN fans know exactly what that is. There is major Scarezone construction happening right now as we speak for HHN 32, so let's talk about it. Welcome to the Horror Fiends. I'm your certified horror dad, Kyle Beatty, and today we're talking about that major Scarezone construction currently happening for Halloween Horror Nights 32 in Universal Orlando. If you're part of the HHN community and you haven't seen what's going on, stay tuned. HHN Twitter is going absolutely crazy right now because Scarezone construction is happening finally for HHN 32, which means it's not too far away at this point. But I want to dive deep today and see what exactly is going on in the streets of Universal right now. The first one I want to touch on is actually on the complete other side of the entrance to the park, but it is going to be in New York, and that is where the rumored Zodiac Zone is going to be placed. We currently have a giant, honestly humongous metal structure right in the middle of New York right now, next to where the tribute store usually is for HHN. And honestly, they keep adding things more and more because this morning they added a stage underneath it. But what could this structure end up being for the actual Scarezone? Now, like I said, this is the rumored Zodiac Scarezone. More specifically, we are thinking that is going to be Orlando's version of HHN Singapore's Dark Zodiac Scarezone. And I mean, there is a giant structure in that Scarezone when that happened. So it could be possible that that is what this is. But there also is kind of a little stage show in that zone when Singapore did it. So it could also be that as well. It really could be honestly anything. I just know it's massive and something we haven't really seen in New York in quite some time. And across from it is kind of a raised platform looking like where maybe a scare actor can stand during the event. Makes me think of maybe HHN 30 when the 30 Years 30 Fears Scare Zone with all those dancers on top dancing on that kind of stuff, or maybe Seek and Destroy. We also had people standing on stuff like that. Just kind of what it reminds me of. So maybe we're going to get some creatures or some zodiac signs standing up on top of that kind of stage. Now, if you keep walking forward, you're going to get to San Francisco, and you're going to go to a little bar I like to go to called Lombard's. Last year, this bar, this kind of hidden bar, was themed for the Conjure the Dark Scare Zone. Now, this year, it looks even bigger. You got a giant truss metal arch above it, maybe where some signing or some theming will go, or maybe just some lights. Then you have trusses going straight down all the way to maybe another arch kind of truss, a little smaller than the entrance one. But this one looks like it could be maybe a photo op or maybe a screen for maybe a projector to go onto. Obviously, we don't know yet. That's why we're kind of just speculating what's going there. But then all around the rest of the Lombard's bar, you do have a bunch of other trellises, probably with either theming or lighting going onto them. Now bear yourself, because a lot of what I'm going to be talking about today is lighting. That's usually what Universal does first for HHN. They set up all the lighting and the trusses where the lighting is going to be, and then they start putting in props. So if we leave the bar after getting a little tipsy, we go straight into San Francisco, where it looks like we have some theming or some trusses, I guess, going on for the rumored Krampus Scare Zone. You have some by Fast and Furious. Not too much going on, but you do have some there. Now, one thing I want to know is if you walk through Harry Potter World, usually you're not going to see a Scare Zone, right? But we do have on the speculation map that Horror Night Nightmares put out, the Diagon Alley, Death Eaters, Horde roaming around in there. If you go into Diagon Alley, I know this morning as I'm recording this on July 19th, I believe today is, they did throw in some Death Eater kind of props and set pieces in there to prepare for when the Death Eaters arrive during HHN. It is cool to see some theming actually going on in this zone, or I guess world. I mean, I know it's not actually HHN, it's more just a Harry Potter experience. But it's something I will definitely be going to look and see what it is, because I actually have never experienced the Death Eaters when they actually happened. Even though I've been going to the event since 2015, been going to Universal even before that, so I just have never ran into the Death Eaters during my time there. But it's something I'm going to go experience, so it's cool to see that they're actually theming it. The next part I want to highlight is going to be Central Park. Central Park has had some trusses, some framework going around for the past week. This is where the rumored Jungle Scare Zone is. We don't know exactly what the Scare Zone could be. All we know is jungle. But it seems like that speculation might become true because there is green netting going around the trusses there. There is long cables going from each lighting post to the next. Looks like maybe they could hang something from that, maybe some vines or some more lights, not too sure. Usually Central Park can do a lot because they are that covered scare zone. They have the trees to work with, they put pumpkins in them before, so it's just something we're gonna have to see what they're gonna do with the jungle, but I'm hoping it's completely layered, dark, you know, spooky, mysterious. Not sure if they're going for more of a tribal theme or more of like animals coming after you kind of theme, but we do have some framework up for that as well. Then we have some lighting going basically all around the park, through Minion Land, through everywhere I've honestly mentioned at this point. We have that Horror Nights lighting being set up. We have it on top of SpongeBob. We have it everywhere, honestly. But the next thing I want to cover on the Scarezone construction update is going to be in Hollywood. Hollywood currently has some trusses up that kind of have a curve to them. They're not like the big archways you see in the other scare zones, but they're more of like a curved, you know, L-shaped truss. Don't know what they're going to be hanging off of that, if it's lighting or if it's going to be banners, kind of like how we got with, you know, Haction, Lights Camera Haction in HHN 30. But this is the rumored Vamp 69 scare zone and where the Vamp show is possibly going to be. I don't see any construction yet for like a stage in front of Mel's, if that's what they're doing with the Vamp show, or if that's going to be a Lagoon show, I don't know. But we are seeing, you know, some trusses getting up in Hollywood. And the next thing I want to talk about, if you go to Universal, I'm not encouraging this, but if you go and you go to the animal actor stage, you watch the show, you see the animals do their thing, and you finish, you go up to the top and, you know, take a picture. Take a picture past the big animal actor sign. You're gonna see the construction of a facade for one of the houses. Obviously, it's nothing we can really distinct and make, you know, speculations about what it is yet, but we are starting to see some construction. And speaking of shows, if you want to see what's going on currently with Nightmare Fuel, the speculated Nightmare Fuel 3 coming back, you can also see that from the Fear Factor stage. If you're next to it, you see there's a big curtain going on, there's some construction going on inside of there as well. But pay attention to the Scarezone construction currently going on at Universal Orlando, because they are doing it fast, they're going to do it quick, they're going to pull props out there in a matter of days or weeks. It's going to continuously growing more. When this video comes out, this is going to be old news in 2 days. Let me know down below if you're excited for HHN 32 this year because of all this Scarezone construction finally happening. I know it puts me in such an excited mood, makes me ready to get into the park and finally experience the event again. But that is it for me as your HHN guide this time. If you like HHN, make sure you subscribe and hit the bell notification icon bell so you're always notified whenever we post. Also, if you want to join and become a member of the channel and join the Haunted Homies, you can do that as well to receive exclusive content from the Horror Fiends. But besides that, I will see you in the fog and I will see you in the morgue.